Hello. Today I am going to show you how Maximo Mobile can be used with ArcGIS Indoor maps. And for this demo, I am using the iOS application for Maximo Mobile, but all the features and functions that I am going to show here is available for the Android application or the Windows application. So I was able to log in the app and I can update my list of work orders that are assigned to my users. Some of the work orders are for the future, not for today. And as we can see here, we have different icons and different information. On the upper right corner of this list, we can see a map icon that we can switch between the list view that we are seeing right now for the map visualization. So the same information that we are seeing here, the four different work orders, can also be visualized in a map mode. So when we switch to this map mode, we can also see the work order list down there in the bottom of the page, and also how the work orders, where the work orders are being presented on the map. The work orders can, as we zoom in or zoom out, are clustered on the map, and as you can see here, these work orders are inside an existing building. So if I click on the work orders down there, the map will be highlighting the points on the map or the markers on the map with the position of the work orders. And as I zoom in, zoom out, the clusters start to expand as well. Maps are moved around as we click down there. And on the right side, we have different map tools that are available. So all these buttons on the right are different map tools. The first one that we are going to see now is what we call the buildings tool. And here I can select different buildings that I have on my map, and as soon as I select the building to switch to its floor picker mode, which is the one down there on the bottom of the page. Uh, right now, I am seeing building M for the floor plan of the level zero of this building. So, and as I move up on the floor between first and second floors, the information for this building is changed accordingly. I switch the visualization on the map. Different layers are available there, and different information can be included there. And in this example here, we are mixing or we are overlaying maximum information on top of the existing ArcGIS layers. So you can basically enrich the map. The building tool anytime can be closed by clicking on that reset button. And I can always close that and check information for the map for outside the building as well. The tool, you can select any building here from your map. So if we switch to other buildings, not only the building M that we have work orders to be executed, the the tool can also display other maps. This is another building, but this one has only one floor. But after we enable that, we start to see the floor plan for that specific building, even having only one floor. And if we switch to a different building now, like building W, that contains more floors, a more complex building, we can switch between the different floors. And the buildings can display the labels for the rooms. So I have different labels that I can apply and switch between the different floors to see the information for each building there that is inside the building, and I have the information on my map. As I said, we can always close and reset the tool by clicking on the reset button. Let's go back now to the building M, which is the one that we have the work orders. And let's play a little bit with other map tools that are available on the map. So the first one on the top is what we call the layers tool. This gives us the ability to display or hide different layers on the map. So sometimes your map becomes very busy because you have lots of different information on the map or different data that is to be displayed. And sometimes you just want to clean up the map for your own visualization, for the user visualization, and disable some of these layers for the user that is using the app in the device. He can turn on and turn off the layers as he works on the app to better visualize the data that he wants. And this information is persistent, so next time he comes to the map, he does not need to reconfigure all these layer visibility again, so it will work. The second one there is what we call the identify tool. This is the one that gives us the ability to display the attributes of the data that we are seeing on the map. So each visual representation here that we are seeing, it's not only a point on the map, it's not only the visual representation. So we also have data under that record. So we have attributes that belongs to each of these records. This tool has a capability that is similar to the layers tool. So basically, you can define what layers you want to identify or not by clicking on that button. So we can select what will be identified when I tap on the map with that tool. So I can enable and disable for this option here. I'll leave only the first one, which is the safety and security layers. I'm not changing the layer visibility here. I'm just telling the tool what layers I want to select when I click. And then I can tap on the map for these specific points to see what exactly is inside that. So this is a safety security layer, and I have, as this one is easy, right? Because we can see the door there, but it's telling me here that is an entry for the building that is represented there. But we have other options, other red dots on the map that we can also identify to get more information for this point. So this one is a fire extinguisher that is on the map as well. And important thing here is the map was configured to use the symbology according to the record type. So we do not need to open the record details to identify that point there is a fire extinguisher. So the symbology of that point on the map helps us to identify what exactly is behind that. The highlight color of the identifier also can be changed. So if I have a map that contains lots of red lines, or and then I highlight an area with another red line, that will be hard to see. So we can easily change the colors of the highlights there. So in this example, I have a light green and a dark green there, highlighting a conference room that I also clicked on the map with the identify tool. So I can see all the information from the map and play with the map to see what is around the work order that needs to be executed and what will be around the user when he gets to a place to execute a work order. So he can see things up front without having to travel there or without having to be there, because he will be able to use the map. And the information here is not only maximal data. So we have lots of layers here of information that comes from ArcGIS that will provide all these extra capabilities. The next tool is what we call the query tool. And this is the one that we can execute queries against the map. So we have different options to query here, but basically we have a spatial query that can be combined with an attribute query. And we'll see some examples now. The first one, there are a few options down there, named for selection mode. The first one is around the user position, or there is also this one to draw polygons on the map. So basically, you draw a polygon and you say, hey, what is inside this polygon? And besides the polygon, you can also define a buffer around the polygon that you want to increase or decrease the size of the polygon. So I can expand the polygon that I just did the drawing to get a bigger area, or I can just put the buffer as 0 and we'll get only what is inside the polygon. There is also the option there. The last one is I want to execute the query against the extent of the map and also with a point. So if I click on the option to put a point on the map, I'll just place a point, and the point will be the center of geometry, a circle, that I can control the size of the circle based on the buffer inside the tool. So meaning it will be similar to the polygon, but it's just a point that you apply a buffer. And this one is what I was saying about the extent. So the query will be executed to what is being presented now on the map. So all the map region that is being visible to me. Down here, the first part was the spatial query, definition of the spatial query. So I define the polygon or define the extent or define a point with a buffer. And then down there, I'll be able to specify the attribute part or the attribute search. So going to say here that I want the category subtype of that specific layer, which is safety and security, to be equals to, and I'll pick a first aid as an example here because the field technician that is executing work order wants to know if there is first aid equipment near to where he is going to execute the work order because he noticed that there is a hazard condition in that area while executing the work order. So he wants to know if there is first aid equipment there. And as you can see here, the blue dots, the blue markers, are placed on top of the first aid equipment. And the symbology of this first aid equipment is also different. So after the end users get used to the symbology, he does not even need to execute this kind of queries. He will just see on the map what is the symbology for that type of record, and he will know that it is available there to him. I have first aid equipment very close to the work order, one of the work orders that I need to execute. And as you can see down there in the cluster work order where we have the number 2 there, there is also first aid equipment close, that is more close to that other 2 work orders. So we are good to go here. This same kind of query can be executed to any kind of layers, like tools or materials that I need to find inside the building. And we have examples here that equipments that are feeding their position inside the building in real time to ArcGIS or to Maximo, and we see these equipments moving around the map, and we can query their last known location to send the technician to get that equipment or asset in their last known location. So we can basically see things moving on the map. After navigating on the map and seeing where my work order needs to be executed, I can finally go to the work order details from the map. I do not need to leave the map, so I can execute all these steps from the map itself. And the very first thing that we see on the top of these work order details is review safety plan. So the field technician will have to review the safety conditions before executing the work order, and that was the reason that we specified we did the query for the first aid, and he needs to have special boots and head protection to execute this work order. And as soon as he tap on the blue button there, he's going to say that he reviewed the safety plan. He's good to go. This information is saved inside Maximo, so we'll know when, if and when the field technician reviewed the safety plan while executing this work order. There are different options here, different tap buttons here that can be opened, but basically I have the work order description. I have the materials and tools here that I can request different more materials or tools that were not assigned to my work order when the work order was being created. So, but it can happen that when I start to execute the work order, I realize that I'll need a different kind of material or different tool, and I can request that from the application itself. Work log is another option here inside Maximo Mobile. Is the second button in the work order details there. This can be used to make notes while you're executing the work order, and say it will be saved for the end user inside the work order. As you can see down there, we also have the asset information, and here the label reports and materials used and tools used. And then there is also the option here to include the failure code for that specific work order. So the field technician will, while executing the work order, he will include information about failure code here, materials that we'll use, and then include label information. So how much time the field technician spent for the execution of his work order. You can also add tools and materials here for this specific work order. Different options here that are available to me at this point in time here that the field technician will be able to select. And similar to the example that we did with the first aid, again, the field technician can execute queries against the map to find the position of these tools if they're inside the building, or when they find the position of where these tools are located on the map. I just completed that work order. Now I have last one work order in my list because that one was sent, was marked as complete. And the query that I have here in the list of work order does not include a completed work order. So I can have different queries on my in my application. I can also get what was completed, but this, as you can see on the upper left corner, this list of records here is assigned work. So, and I can jump back to the map and I'll see only the three work orders that are remaining in my list, and I can continue to execute that. There isn't a hard limit here for the number of work orders and future work orders. So any work order can be included here, can be assigned to my user. We have customers downloading large number of work orders here to the device, to this list. Another tool here, another option is the offline areas tool. The maps that we are seeing here, we support these maps in offline mode. And for the map, when we're in the map configuration, we can set up the automatic download of this map down to the device without the user to click on any button. But for more advanced users and for users that wants to download other map areas that were not configured to him, yes, he can come to this option and set up more map data to be downloaded to the device. And we support large map areas, so we're talking about gigabytes of data that we can download to these mobile applications, and that can include like super large areas. I'm talking about countries or states or even big cities with lots of data to be presented on the map. Next tool, editing tool. So the map is editable here, so I can create and I can include more information in this map. So the map can be configured to have layers that will take editing on the map. So the end user can place new work orders or new service requests or even new assets. He can also use the map to place this information directly from the device. There is also a related tool, which is for work orders that needs to execute work in more than one asset. The related tool can present more than one asset for the work order. So work order contains three or four assets that will be presented with that